All right, this is the beginning of how much money buying 4 houses made me in 6 months, real estate investing. This is by Meet Kevin. Somebody that can't show you a profit, they'll show you a speculative profit. It's called blue sky, okay? And this is blue sky, folks. This is blue sky. This is the definition of blue sky right here. It's like, this is what could be. But he's selling it is as if it's happened, and it hasn't happened. He's got property he bought he can't get rid of, he can't sell, and if he did, he'd have to hang his head in shame, okay, because he wouldn't be able to make this video.
Hey everyone, Meet Kevin here. Today we're going to do a run through of what $2.7 million worth of real estate under construction looks like during the pandemic.
When he says under construction, I think what he's talking about is he's talking about renovating. He didn't build. I'm a builder, okay? This isn't under construction. This looks like, a minor remodel, or maybe he's painted, or I don't know. Let's keep going.
Let's start with this house here. This one used to be a hoarder house. I'm actually probably going to put Tesla solar panels on this roof, and they need me to send them some pictures. So let's go grab those pictures really quick and show it to you in the meantime. Oh, and never forget.
Oh gosh, I spilled hand sanitizer because you don't know who touched those keys last. And there's a Rona going on. Oh dear, hello. So here it is. Yay, we got flooring. Woo! Floor, this is my formula for rental properties. It's the same thing in pretty much every property. You'll see that shortly. Sweet, look, Lauren, the countertop's in. Lauren, right in the camera. Gotta get my appliances. Looking good. I love this place. Love real estate. Okay, well, we gotta hurry because Lauren's parents are watching the kids and we don't got lots of time. If they tell me I need to upgrade mail, I'm gonna cry. So I bought this house for $450,000 as a quarter mess. I'm probably gonna put somewhere around $45,000 to $50,000 into it. I gotta clean some things up a little bit, and gotta get plumbers back out there, but it's already looking way better. This thing's almost ready.
Even though I bought it for $450,000, it's gonna be worth $650,000. Now obviously the Rona could make prices go down, but so far prices have stayed stable. So we'll call this bought for $450, put let's say $50 into it, and now it's worth $650.
When you buy a property for $450,000, especially a single family residence, it's already going to be a terrible rental. And he bought it before coronavirus, and just assuming his numbers are right, it's not going to be worth $650. So he put $50,000 in it. That makes him at about $500,000. If he lost 20% of the value, which I'm pretty sure that's probably about what he's going to be hit with. So just even if he took a 20% hit, it's worth about what he has in it, okay? Now, if he bought it for full market, which I kind of suspect he has, to be honest, then it's even a worse deal. That will not bring you a return, that will go negative monthly. Easy to make $1 million a year on YouTube, which Kevin, from what he's shown in his other videos, he shows how much money he makes a day and whatnot. It looks like he makes about $1 million a year. You can make investments like this that are terrible. This is already not a good deal. Okay, let's keep going.
So that's property number one. Let's go to another property. This one's probably about 2 weeks away from getting a tenant. See that triplex right there? I almost bought that triplex, except Lauren told me not to because it's next to a school, and they've literally had that for rent sign out for 2 months. They can't get that place rented. Sucks for them. Get that place rented. Sucks for them.
Now, you know what's funny is, if you remember the last video that Kevin made, or the last one that I reviewed, he was talking about Manny Koshman, and Manny said, never buy near a school.
Also, you don't want to be next to schools for obvious reason. A lot of noise, a lot of traffic, so stay away from freeways, schools, railroads, anything that's going to be a nuisance to the property.
You gotta be careful on the school one. Schools can oftentimes be a great place to buy near.
There you go, he just proved Manny right on that, by the way.
Sucks for them. Okay, so just doing a quick check-in here because the tenant's about to take possession of this place.
We're gonna get that last cleaned up. Everything's good though. Utilities, no water leaks, nothing crazy going on here. Always good to check. I hate vacant houses. There's nothing worse than vacant real estate. I'll tell you. Valves leak, water heaters leak, gas starts leaking. It's a mess. No leak.
All right, so this place was bought for $660,000, and it's probably worth around $825,000 right now. We'll see. I mean, again, Rona pricing, right? But you could probably sell it for $799 pretty fast. Tesla rejected this one for...
All right, so this second house he just visited, he said he paid $660,000 for it before what he keeps calling Rona. I don't think he wants to say Corona. But so he's talking about buying these to rent them. They're not going to rent for enough to cover the mortgage if he financed 75% of it. It's not going to happen. So this is already a tragedy. If he can sell it for $799, fine, flip it. But my guess is he can't even sell it for what he has in it. So I'm just telling you. When you get into homes that cost over $300,000-$400,000, it's rare you're going to get enough money to get a return on your 25% down, plus get a decent return to cover even the mortgage. And the mortgage you probably borrowed at 3.5% if it's an investor mortgage, which it should be.
Tesla rejected this one for solar, but what are you gonna do? All right, let's go. This is a property that was bought for $450,000 as well. The price ranges look pretty similar. This place got about $50,000 worth of work, and it's worth somewhere between $630,000 to $635,000 right now. This house has a special place in my heart, and I'll tell you why. So this is the same exact floor plan, basically the same exact house as the first house Lauren and I ever bought.
About it is we still own the first house we ever bought, and it's right around the corner from this one. So I know this house, this floor plan, everything about it inside and out. This was a military relocation. We got rented right away, military relocated. But anyway, same style as I always do, kind of like what I teach in my rental renovations course. And then this is another great deal. This property also had brand new bathrooms put in by an insurance.
But I'm super excited because this is another one bought for $450,000, now worth in the $630,000 to $640,000 range. And there's number 3. Let's go check out one more. All right, so we're done at this house. Let's get on over to the last place. This last one is the one that's least progressed.
In renovation, but out of these 4, we just got 2 of them rented. These last 2 are finishing up on renovations. That's 4 renovations here in a row. So at one point, I had over $2.5 million worth of real estate under construction at the same time. That's a lot. I mean, I did that a lot for clients, but this is my own real estate. It's very common for me to coordinate a bunch of these renovations at a time. But these are all mine, so it's definitely a little more stressful. Although I'm my own boss, so if I want to take a day off and not deal with coordinating something, I can. It just costs me money instead of my client money. So it works out.
But I do like to go fast. The kiss of death for real estate is days empty. Every day is literally like me taking $125 out of my wallet, going cha-ching. So times 4, that means every single day I'm going $500, $500, $500. So the quicker I get these places rented, the better, because then I can get back to making more videos.
So that's interesting on the math. He determined that each of those homes cost him $125 a day, right? $125 a day times 4, $500. Based on what he just said, that's $15,000 a month just to cover the money he's losing while they're being empty, okay?
As if I don't already make enough. All right, here's the last one of the day. This one, I think I kind of overpaid for it. I paid $535 for it.
I agree, he did overpay for it, especially if he said so. Because I think he overpaid for the ones that he thinks are a deal.
We're gonna put about $45,000 into it, and it's probably worth around $670 to $680. Unless, of course, the whole market just drops 20%, then I guess I'm break even. Well, 20 to like 30%, but let's get into it.
All right, what we got going on over here? So this is my beautiful kitchen. You can see I do the same exact thing with the cabinets. It's the same time. It's the same flooring. It's the same light fixtures. This isn't a good idea, so what I have to do, what do I pay for? The dude sends me the invoice. He's like, "Floor is ready." Sends me the invoice. Like, hello? What do I pay for? No, I mean, my plumber still hasn't come. What is up with that? They're supposed to come on Tuesday. This is why I gotta check in on the properties. I'm telling you, every single time I schedule these people, it's like, "Oh, you gotta be here on Tuesday." They're like, "Okay, I'll be here on Tuesday." And then they don't show up, and then they don't plug these holes, these drain holes. It's unbelievable. It is a side hustle. You know, people are like, "Kevin, how do you make hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate with passive income? It looks like you have to do work." Yeah, but it ain't that hard. All right, here's the thing. If that kind of work and these little check-ins are too complicated and too stressful for you, you know what, real estate isn't for you. But I don't mind getting dirty. I'll take a picture.
It is a side hustle. You know, people are like, Kevin, how do you make hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate with passive income? It looks like you have to do work.
These deals were terrible investments, and I doubt they're even worth what he paid for them.
Yeah, but it ain't that hard. All right, here's the thing. If that kind of work and these little check-ins are too complicated and too stressful for you, you know what? Real estate isn't for you. But I don't mind getting dirty. I'll take a pitchfork and I'll even take a hoe and I'll get to work. Now, I want to be super transparent with you about these properties, so I'm going to share an insight with you, but I want to quickly remind you, get your 2 free stocks with Webull. I don't want to sound like a broken record saying that, but they do say that the promotion for that is ending on the 12th, which because they're in a different time zone, I'd recommend you get your 2 free stocks before the 11th. Remember, if you open an account and you deposit $100, you get 2 free stocks.
Okay, you open up an account, spend $100, and you get free stock. That's free, according to Kevin.
The second one is usually worth more, and it can be worth up to $1,400.
It's a great trading platform. This morning I posted a video where at 5:23 in the morning I was trading stocks, and you usually can't do that.
Of course, get your life insurance as well, and check out my programs down below.
Okay, also buy your life insurance through Kevin. Links below.
But let me give you an insight here. So here's the thing. If I sold all of these properties today at the values that other properties are selling for in the area,
ordinarily I would have to pay selling costs. I would have to pay
other real estate agents to sell these properties. And so these properties, what I expect I could sell them for, in order, $650,000, $820,000, $625,000, and $680,000. That's $2.775 million in real estate. If I paid another real estate agent to represent a buyer, and then I paid another real estate agent to represent me as the seller, and then I paid escrow and title fees, I would have to pay somewhere around
6% for all those fees. And that's somewhere around $166,000, which is a lot of money. This is why I don't recommend people sell.
Okay, he doesn't recommend people sell? Are you kidding me? He doesn't recommend people sell? This is about making money on real estate. How much money buying 4 houses made me, okay? How much did it make me, okay? We haven't heard anything about money being made yet. We just heard that he bought property and he put more money in it, okay? That's all we've heard so far.
Every day is literally like me taking $125 out of my wallet, going cha-ching. So times 4, that means every single day I'm going $500, $500, $500.
Now, if I do the deals myself and I represent myself because I am a real estate agent, it's really only gonna cost me about 4% to sell these. I gotta pay the other agent, still have to pay escrow title, might have to fumigate the properties. Who knows what comes up, right? So if I take properties worth $2,775 and I take out my selling costs, if I were to represent myself, I'm still gonna be left with 0.96%. Basically taking off the 4%. So I'm left with just over $2.6 million. But I did have to pay money for these properties. I put about $190,000 in renovations into all of these properties combined. And then of course I actually had to pay money to buy the properties, which means I put in $450,000 for property 1, minus $650,000 for property 2, minus $450,000 for property 3, minus $530,000 for property 4. This number right here, $394,000, would represent my walkaway profit if I sold all of these properties right now, representing myself as the seller and another buyer's agent representing the buyer and paying all the fees associated. I'd walk away with about a $400,000 profit, and I bought all of these properties within the last 6 months. That's $394,000 in profit. That's almost $100,000 in gains on each property if I were to sell them today in 6 months with side hustle worth of work.
Let's think about that. He just said, remember, $500 a day, right? Well, he just said these 4 investments, he spent 6 months working on them. 6 months.
In 6 months with side hustle worth of work.
180 days times $500, folks. That's $90,000 lost. There's another $90,000 you can take off that bottom line figure he said he made.
That's really good. That's why I'm so bullish on real estate, and it's a safe way to invest as well. In fact, one of those properties is totally paid off.
Now he's got to rent them, okay? And now what he's not talking about is the rental income. The rental income. What's the rental income? Okay, because the rental income and the mortgages, I don't think he wants to talk about that because I don't think it is anything that supports his claim that he knows what he's doing.
So yeah, the profit might be $394 walk away, but I'd get way more cash out because I am not fully loaded with debt, which I also teach you how to do this style of investing very conservatively, even if you're starting out with little.
I'll say this for Kevin. I think he's a hardworking kid, but if he didn't have $1 million a year coming in from YouTube, he'd lose his ass in real estate. He really would. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just doesn't know what he's doing.
Even though pricing has been flat, let's go extreme and say I had to discount all of these properties by 5% to sell them.
Listen, a 5% discount is not extreme, okay? I think he's gonna be discounting them 20%, for sure.
That's like that $820,000 house, me selling it for $780 because there was fear in the market or whatever, and I decided to sell them today. That should be reasonable, given that we haven't seen prices go down yet.
Listen, okay, it's May 9th. The reason you haven't seen prices go down is because everybody's been in their house. Nobody's buying. Banks haven't even really been loaning because they're just inundated with these PPP loans that they're doing. There's been no action at all, okay? So today begins the reality for Kevin in his real estate investment. He can see what his values do now. And believe me, they ain't going up.
Yeah, maybe prices will go down in the future, but I'm saying if I sold them today at a 5% discount, that would take about $133,000 of that profit away, which means I'd still walk away with $261,000 for 6 months worth of work and renovating 4 properties.
He's saying worst case, $261,000 with 5% off. And I just showed you really, it's $171,000. Okay, $261,000 minus $90,000 equals $171,000. Okay, but now let's take off another 5%, just in case the market maybe loses 10%, okay? Okay, $171,000 minus $125,000 equals $46,000. Now we're at $46,000, what he calls a profit. It's not profit, it's not realized, okay? This is what he's calling equity, okay? Or he's not even calling it equity, but whatever. He's calling it profit or made or whatever. So now there's only $46,000. But now let's go another 5%, 15%. Because folks, I guarantee it's more than 10. Now let's go 15%. Okay, we got $46,000 minus $125,000 equals negative $79,000. Is negative $79,000. Now let's go 20% because that's not unusual. I put in my video the other day. I think probably might take a 20% hit. Okay, now take another 125 off, okay? Okay, we got negative $79,000 and we're going to subtract another $125,000 for another 5% equals $204,000 negative. $204,000 negative if this COVID deal cost him 20% of the valuation. The numbers are adding up, but they're not adding up the way with Kevin's math.
So how the heck is this possible? I mean, 4 houses, 4 good deals that have generated almost $400,000 in profit.
This isn't even money he's made. This is just air, folks. This is pure air because he hasn't sold anything. He hasn't made a profit, okay? So really, how much money buying 4 houses has made him in 6 months? 0. In fact, it's negative because he had to spend more money to hold them. He had to spend more money to fix them up, and he's not even talking about how much he put down. But I'm going to guess about 25%.
If I were to sell them, and since I'm not selling them and I don't have to pay the selling costs, I basically increased my net worth by about $500,000. How is that possible?
How is it possible? How is it possible? Well, grab the lube, okay? I think it's going to have something to do with the link below. This kind of information that he's sharing, I don't find very useful to people that are starting with nothing or very little, or people that make $100,000 a year or less than $100,000 a year.
These are normal deals. There's a reason I was able to do 4 of these deals as a side hustle.
He's upside down on his property. He's not going to be able to get rid of them. He can sell the one he has paid for cash, of course. He's not going to realize anywhere near the values that he says he has. Okay, you do the math. Look, if you don't have my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, this is like $9 on Kindle. It's going to go up, but you can get it on Amazon for $20 if you want a paperback. But my book has links that take you directly to relevant videos. And believe me, all these are based on real deals. I show you how I make, $20,000 on a property, $50,000, $300,000, $2 million. Look, I've done it. And these, I'm not talking about equity. I'm talking about bought it, sold it, made it, paid tax on it, or used a 1031 and put it into something else. Real deals. Real deals.